Hello everyone, my name is David. Today, we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. A man named Ankit Kokhar used to reside in the city of Bagpat in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, where Ankit lived, is the state with the highest crime rate in India. Despite this, Ankit managed to stay away from all those things. He focused completely on his studies from the beginning and then moved to the developed city Ghaziabad in Uttar Pradesh to pursue his PhD here. He found some good friends, and now his dream was to continue his education further by going to Germany after completing his PhD. But before that, he faced a tragic death that will send shivers down your spine. So let's start this case from the beginning. Actually, Ankit's parents had passed away within a year in 2013. Apart from this, Ankit had no siblings. After the death of his parents, Ankit's interaction with relatives also decreased significantly. In other words, the now unmarried Ankit had become somewhat lonely. Therefore, after leaving his ancestral home in Bagpat, he thought about moving to Ghaziabad to continue his further studies. During his PhD studies in Ghaziabad, Ankit made 6 very good friends. After this, whenever these friends had time, they used to go out together, and anyway, they always stayed in touch with each other through WhatsApp and other social media platforms. However, during his studies, Ankit gets the thought that, I live in a rented house, and I don't have any siblings, so why not sell my ancestral home in Bagpat? Although during this time, he was living on rent in the house of a man named Umesh Sharma, and he had been staying there for quite a long time. Meanwhile, Ankit starts looking for a good dealer to sell his house. After some time, he finds a very good dealer, and he sells his house for 10 million Indian rupees. After that, Ankit deposits this 10 million rupees in 2 different banks. However, after some time, when Umesh Sharma, who was Ankit's landlord, finds out about this, he demands 4 million rupees from Ankit. Umesh tells Ankit, "Brother, I want to start a business for which I need 4 million rupees. Can you lend me this money? And when my business starts running well, I will return the entire amount with interest." Now, since Ankit had been staying at Umesh's house for quite some time, Ankit trusted him. Therefore, he gives Umesh 4 million rupees from his savings. Everything was going well in Ankit's life until October 7th, 2022. This was the date when Ankit was last seen by his friends, and even the landlord. Because after October 7th, his mobile phone remained switched off for 3 days, which was not at all normal. Although after that, Ankit's mobile phone was turned on. He didn't go to college and didn't talk to his friends on the call. He was only chatting on WhatsApp. Now, because Ankit had no one in his background, nobody knew where Ankit had gone. Even Ankit's friends, with whom he spent most of his time, became suspicious 2 months later. After that, Ankit's friends thought about taking some action on their own. Actually, Ankit's friends felt that he might have gone to visit his relative's house or somewhere because Ankit was active on WhatsApp and regularly in touch with his friends. But as time passed, some of Ankit's friends started noticing differences in his chatting style. Generally, we all have different chatting styles, right? Besides, when these people tried to call Ankit, he often didn't answer the calls or would deliberately cut them off. Due to these incidents, everyone started feeling quite strange, and then, when they carefully observed and started reading both Ankit's old and new chats, they began to feel even more peculiar. Because there had never been any typo errors before Ankit's chat, but now, in his new chats, there were many spelling mistakes, whereas Ankit was well-educated and pursuing a PhD. The search for Ankit begins from here, and so far, Ankit had been missing for 2 months. After that, all his friends first go to Ankit's landlord, Umesh Sharma, who tells them that Ankit left the house with his bag 2 months ago. After hearing this news, Ankit's friends go to his ancestral home in Bagpat. There, they learn from the neighbors that some time ago, he had sold his house for 10 million rupees. Hearing this for the first time, Ankit's friends suspect that someone might have kidnapped him after seeing so much money with him. Then they come back to Ghaziabad again and go to the police station to file a missing person report. But before writing a missing report to the police, they ask Ankit's friends who they are. In response, they all say, "We are Ankit's close friends, and we last saw him 2 months ago. Ankit has no parents, siblings, so we have come to file the report." However, even after hearing this, the police were not taking the case seriously. But when they informed the police that Ankit recently sold his $1 million home, hasn't been answering our calls for the past 2 months, and his messages have been coming with incorrect spelling, the police became a bit suspicious. After that, the police registered Ankit's missing report and began their further investigation. Now, because the police suspected a kidnapping for money, they first checked Ankit's bank account. When the police got Ankit's bank details, they found that from October to December, in these 2 months, money had been withdrawn from Ankit's ATM card from different cities. Afterwards, when the police traced Ankit's mobile location, they found that he had been continuously traveling for the past several days. This led the police to believe that Ankit might have genuinely gone somewhere for leisure. Therefore, the police tried to reassure Ankit's friends by telling them that Ankit had indeed left to explore a new place. However, when Ankit's friends insisted on watching the CCTV footage of the day, he withdrew money from all those ATMs. The police, although initially reluctant, eventually checked the surveillance cameras of different ATMs. They noticed a peculiar thing. Every time Ankit withdrew money, he was wearing a mask, making it difficult to identify him accurately. Subsequently, when the police showed all the CCTV footage to Ankit's friends, they carefully observed the physical appearance and features of the person. Based on their scrutiny, they informed the police that the man in the footage could not be Ankit. After this, the police began searching for Ankit, and the first person they reached was the man Ankit's landlord Umesh Sharma. However, even here, Umesh told the police the same story that he had told Ankit's friends. But during questioning with Umesh, the police felt that he was a bit nervous. Subsequently, the police started searching his entire house. Meanwhile, the police also called the forensic team, and in the room where Ankit was staying, the forensic team found some bloodstains. In addition, a while later, the police found a saw from Umesh's house, which also had stains of blood. Upon seeing this, the police became fully alert, and then they decided to interrogate Umesh in custody. Initially, the police questioned Umesh about Ankit in a normal manner. However, when they began to suspect his statements, the police started interrogating Umesh more rigorously. This time, Umesh could not lie for long, and finally, he broke down and tells the true story. The story goes that when Umesh found out that Ankit had sold his house for 10 million rupees, he initially asked Ankit for a loan of 4 million rupees. However, later he started worrying about how he would repay this money, thinking, "I've taken this money, but how am I going to return it?" Well, this worry didn't bother Umesh for too long because he came up with another idea. "Now, if the remaining 6 million rupees with Ankit also come to me, then my life will be sorted." From then onwards, he started making a plan. Actually, Umesh used to work as a compounder with an orthopedic doctor, where apart from giving medicines to the patients, he also used to remove the plaster from their hands, legs, or knees. Umesh used to use a saw to cut plaster, hence Umesh had become an expert in using the saw. After that, the date comes October 7th, 2022, when Ankit came to his rented house. After that, Umesh went to his room to meet him. At first, they were having normal conversations, but then Umesh made juice for Ankit. However, the juice had sleeping pills in it, causing Ankit to lose consciousness in just a few seconds. After that, with a saw, Umesh first cut Ankit's throat and then divided the rest of the body into 3 pieces. Umesh left all these pieces in Ankit's room for these whole day. Then the next day, he came with his friend's car and filled all the pieces of Ankit's body in large polythene bags, throwing them in different parts of the city. He threw one piece far north from his home, one to the east, and one to the south. He maintained a distance of 20 to 25 kilometers between these locations. Umesh felt that if he could kill Ankit, no one would find out. Because Ankit had no parents, siblings, or any relatives, and there was no connection between Umesh and Ankit. After killing Ankit, Umesh kept his bank passbook, credit and debit cards, and Ankit's mobile phone with him. 3 days after murdering Ankit, Umesh turned on his mobile phone, and after chatting with Ankit's friends for a few days, Umesh realized that they would definitely try to find Ankit. So, Umesh involved his friend Pravesh in this murder and told him the entire story of killing Ankit. After that, Umesh told Pravesh that he had to go out for a few days with Ankit's debit card and mobile phone and withdraw money from Ankit's account whenever an opportunity arose at any ATM. In addition, for the next few days, Pravesh continued chatting with Ankit's friends and also withdraw money through his debit card. But his typing style revealed the details of the marked murder case, and that's why when the police initially traced the location of Ankit's mobile and checked his bank account, the police suspected that Ankit was traveling somewhere. When he needed money, he would withdraw it from his ATM. However, during this time, Pravesh was withdrawing around 2 million from Ankit's account and transferring all those money into Umesh's account. Umesh had now accumulated around 6 million, and he used this amount to pay off some of his old debts and started a new small business. But when Ankit's 6 friends became suspicious of his sudden disappearance, Umesh was eventually caught along with these money. After being apprehended, Umesh also admitted to the police that he got the idea after watching some movies. On the day he committed Ankit's murder, he also burned his and Ankit's clothes so that no trace of blood would remain on them. Umesh tried to escape from all sides, but he forgot Ankit's 6 close friends. In this way, Ankit's close friends resolved the mystery of his friend's disappearance and murder. Salute to Ankit's best friends. From this case, we learn that every person should have some friends who care for them and can stand by them in times of trouble. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you.